let's go. Or should I say, let's Bo?
You can say, let's Bo. I mean, goodness gracious. And that's a literal statement when I say it's one of the greatest comebacks in the history of sports, where your win probability in the fourth quarter was 0.02%. 0.02.
Yeah.
The Giants had a win probability at the same time of 99.8%, and they lost. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable, and we have the rest of the afternoon, the next 3 hours, to break it down. Before we get back on it, the Fan Flyway is back thanks to 303 Law 4040. This time we're sending one lucky listener and a guest to Phoenix in February for the biggest party in golf. Here's what you get. 2 tickets to Saturday's round at TPC Scottsdale, round-trip airfare for 2 from Denver, 2 nights hotel stay, and $500. These have been just insane, okay? It's one of the best packages that you can get in, like, the history of sports radio. So for more information and to register, head to thefanflyway.com. If you entered one of our previous Flyway contests, you're good. You're already registered for this one. Once you sign up for one Flyway, you're entered for all future Flyways. Okay, let's talk about the defense, and then we'll circle back and hear from Sean Payton. What did you think of VJ's side of the football yesterday?
The defense was very inconsistent. There were some high moments and a lot of low moments, and there's context to it. But just to go on the defense before I start to bring in the excuses, there's no excuse to go out there and not cover these receivers, especially when they don't have a number one. The Giants did not have a number one receiver, and yet they were open. Way too open. And that comes down to communication. You have to find a way to communicate on the back end where it's like, hey, guys, are we in man? Are we in zone? We're bringing pressure. So if you can't get to the quarterback, which Jackson Dart did a great job of, I was amazed of how calm Jackson Dart was in the pocket. I thought he was going to do a lot more moving around, getting out of the pocket, running first.
Same.
And he kind of stood his ground and was able to pick apart the Denver Bronco defense when they brought the pressure on zone blitzes.
Yeah, outside of the pick, and obviously it was a super costly, but I walked away pretty impressed.
Yeah, I was impressed. Now for the defense, it's about now you're playing zone, so understand where your zone's at. Understand that if there's a guy in your zone, you're going to have to pick him up. There are way too many times where you had DBs looking at each other or safeties looking at each other like, who has the man?
Yeah.
It was a major breakdown, a major meltdown when Jackson Dart had his first touchdown of the game. We had the tight end streaking up the field.
Yeah, Daniel Bellinger.
Yeah, and people wanted to get mad at linebacker Alex Singleton, but that wasn't on Alex Singleton. Alex Singleton is a linebacker. This wasn't man. This was zone. That means that Hufanga needed to stay his butt in zone. He's the last line of defense. So if there's a bomb, he's the one that's taking care of it. If there's a guy on a streak route,
it looked like he bit down.
He did. He bit for the fake. All right, Jackson Dart was able to get out the pocket. So now it's like, hey, it's kind of a scramble drill mode, and you have a tight end wide open in the end zone. So overall, it was very inconsistent. But just like Bo Nix, when you needed them to step up, they did. Justin Sternad having that interception kind of lighting a fire up under the Denver Broncos and kind of the big reason why you started this comeback. And then being able to make certain plays here or there, get a couple sacks, get some pressure on Jackson Dart when it mattered the most. That was the defense for you yesterday.
Well, 32 points to Jackson Dart and the 2-4 Giants at the time, now 2-5. Not ideal. Not ideal. It was actually the first time that this defense had given up. I want to make sure this is right. I think it was the first time the defense gave up a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Or at least 4 games. It was the first time in 4 games is what it was, that the defense has allowed a fourth quarter touchdown. Man, when the Giants had that double deflection, because the Broncos had just scored on a deflected pass, and really a pass that was like ill-advised. Bo trying to squeeze it in there. Sutton wasn't open, trying to give him a shot. I get it, but it bounces up to Troy Franklin, and then the next series, the football gods say 1 for 1.
Can't make it up,
and they go running for another touchdown. I'm like, yeah, this is just not going to happen for the Broncos today.
For that tight end, it was the right place at the right time. And I did. I tweeted it out. I said, when it rains, it pours. Like, this is just not our day, especially defensively, where it's like you can't stop this team. Yes, Scatterboo, that's running tough, and he was able to break a couple chunk plays off. The screenplay was well set up. That's when you run a screenplay, Zach. That's when you go with screens, when you don't think it's coming. All right, and you have a defense that's trying to get to the quarterback, and all of a sudden you dump it off. Not Sean, who wants to do a screenplay on every single play.
How many screens do you think got called yesterday?
I'm going to say at least 8. At least 8, maybe 10.
I think there was more than that. I would have guessed 12.
It's okay, 12.
I mean, that was
Way too many.
that was extreme.
No, it's like screenplays, like I said earlier, they're set up plays. You get into some type of rhythm, you get a defense back on their heels, and now all of a sudden, screen. And you have an explosive like the Giants were able to have with Scatterboo. They were able to, it was like the element of surprise, like you don't know what's coming. Scatterboo was able to get the screen, make something out of it, touchdown, and now they have the momentum. And so for this defense, it was just one of these days where it's like, dude, we need you to stop somebody. We got to get some turnovers. You end up getting a turnover at the end there. But early in that game, like, give us some more momentum. But this is where the excuses come in for the defense. When you have an offense that has 6 3-and-outs, okay, 6 3-and-outs, has 1 turnover on down and 6 punts.
God, that was bad ball. God.
At some point, your defense is going to bust.
Yeah. Well,
they're out there. They're tired.
But I'll say this: it started to happen so early in the game, though.
Well, for the defense?
Yeah, like that busted coverage to Bellinger. I think was on the second or third series of the game.
But what happened in the third series of the game? It was a punt. It was a 3-and-out. Then it was 5 plays and a punt, and then it was another 3-and-out or 5 plays and a punt. That means you're keeping your defense out there. That means they're not getting a rest. And the Giants were able to maintain some type of drive. Even if they weren't scoring, they were driving and taking some time off the clock and being physical. Then when all of a sudden you get them off the field, your offense goes out there, they lay an egg or they don't do their part. Now your defense is right back out there.
Gotcha.
And all of a sudden you look up and they give up a chunk play because, one, they're tired, they're frustrated. Things stack up.
Yeah.
That's my excuse.
I don't want to let them off the hook. I really don't.
I can't do it all, Zach.
I know that's a part of it. Obviously, that's a part of it. But, it was massively busted coverage in the first quarter of a game. On the Cam Scatterboo touchdown, he was untouched.
Yeah. It was a great play design.
Yes, it was. On the Tyrone Tracy touchdown, 31-yard touchdown, he was untouched. I mean, it wasn't a good day for the defense. Is that fair to say?
That is fair. I'm not going to fight you on this. It was not a good day for the defense. But you can't look at the offense and say, "Oh, they helped them out."
No.
And so when the defense is like, "What do you want us to do?" Like, we're tired. They're driving on us. They're physical. They're making plays. Penalty-wise, the defense had 12 penalties for over 120 yards.
I mean, dude, this is the most undisciplined team in professional football.
Yeah, they are.
Phil, it's bad. And it's getting worse. I mean, 2 of the last 3 weeks, the Broncos have had in the 100 variety of yards given up by penalties. And they're oh, God. I mean, you're talking about Pat Surtain's one of the most penalized players on the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, it can't happen. It can't happen.
Offsides on PS2, holding on Zach Allen, offsides on Benito on a 3rd down, new series for the Giants. Defensive pass interference on J-Mac on a 3rd down. When the Giants are backed up, you give them new life again. False start in the 2-minute drill. You got a 10-second runoff because you're not lined up right. We talked about Broncos are one of the league leaders in pre-snap penalties.
There you go. You sustain drives. The offense sustains the drive. They keep moving forward. You're giving them another 4 chances to make you pay, and the Giants did that. And then all of a sudden, your offense goes out there and goes 3-and-out. Now you're back on the football field.
Crazy.
You try to do it again. You get a stop, and then all of a sudden, a penalty. Like, it can't happen, or you're going to find yourself on the other side of it, on the other side of the win column. You're going to be on the lose column.
Yes, I can't believe that it hasn't cost them. Against Philly, I think it was 122 yards in penalties for the Broncos yesterday, over 100.
Everybody's doing right now. Everybody's
living right?
Living right. They're doing good at home.
Defensive pass interference on Barron when the Giants were backed up in a 2nd and long scenario. Moss with a personal foul face mask. Garrett Bowles with the best sleeper hold I've seen since WrestleMania 6. Now it's 1st and 20. John Franklin Myers roughing the passer after the 19-yard catch late in that 4th quarter. I mean,
and then the Riley Moss one at the end.
That one,
that's ticky-tack.
That was just an awful call.
Yeah.
And I hate spending time on officiating because it's like it's going to even out in the end. But when you mess with the competitive fabric of the football game, the way that official did, the official right next to the play didn't throw the flag. It comes in from the opposite side of the field, and it's just like,
they need to be held accountable.
What are we doing here?
Start fining them. They fine all these other players $66,000 for lowering their head. Like, fine the refs when they have a bad call.
That was
awful.
awful.
Stop them from making bad calls.
I mean, goodness. In that situation,
just let them play. Just let them play.
I mean, goodness gracious.
We're not here to see the referees. We're here to see the players.
That was awful. And that was the sequence where Sean came out on the field. So again, like, you're talking about like an undisciplined team. The head coach, how many head coaches have you seen come off the sideline and be in the middle of the field?
I'm not going to lie. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it, Zach. I was like, come on, man. Like, you got to fight for your players.
Dude, like, it was so crazy that I may have a conspiracy theory. I may.
Here we go.
It was best for the Broncos, for the Giants to score that touchdown, to leave enough time on the clock. You knew they were getting the ball at, what was it, like the 2-yard line?
Yep.
So when you have that short a distance, it's halfway distance to the goal. Was Sean playing chess, knowing that it was actually best to leave the most amount of time left on the clock?
I love it.
And say, let me just take this personal foul, get them closer to the goal line, let them score. So, because I'm telling you, if Jackson Dart doesn't score that touchdown and they have another crack at it, the Broncos are winning the game.
Well, if that's the case, though, just let them score. Don't even bring your defense out there.
I literally said it to my wife. I said, it's best for they just score. Just let them score right now, because they're at the 1-yard line on first down. And so, like, you need them to score, and they needed every second to come up and clock it. I'm talking about the Broncos when they got the ball back. Now, again, I haven't heard that theory today. So I'm just sharing
chess,
it.
not checkers. I love it.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Oh, yes. I see what you're saying. Sean just wants he wants to make it all about himself. But when he does that, sometimes he's right.
Here's why I actually don't believe that, because if he actually did that and it worked, he'd have been the first to tell you.
Yeah, I know.
He'd have been the first
he would have been
to
smiling.
tell you.
That'd be the only smile on his face.
Oh, my gosh.
When he talked about that play.
Oh, my gosh. Here is Sean Payton talking about Bo getting it going late.
He got it going, and he started smiling, and he started, just all of that. It was exciting to see. It just went back and forth. I said to him, when you do this long enough, you'll be in 5 or 6 of those games.
Well, hopefully we're good on those for now, for a while.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with those. I loved it. It was fun. It was exciting in the moment.
It was so fun.
But let's get back to playing Broncos football and just win games. Be more aggressive when it comes to running the football.
Yeah.
And defensively, let's get the sacks. I like that. I like that version of the Denver Broncos better.
Well, I think it fits their natural profile. Here is Sean talking about going through a long season here.
You don't realize that your season's in session and you're going and you're playing, and you don't know you have to race to improve, and because you're going to look back, take any of these champions, and there's going to be these moments of, I'm sure if you guys grabbed that team season and just went through the stretch, that's why we try to find the right players to begin with. That's why we try to buy the most expensive hurricane-proof players that we can.
All right, what an interesting way to say that at the end.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, we need guys around here that when it's stormy and it's hailing and the gusts of wind, and I know the guys to the left and right of me are like fighting to the death. And that's, obviously there was ineptitude through 3 quarters yesterday and some really, really bad football. But you have got to take your hat off to that group. They did not quit. And they were down. I mean, Bo talked about it. We'll hear from Bo a little bit later. He's like, the morale on the sideline was bad. And it's matching the energy from the crowd.
But to be honest with you, I'm glad that he was honest about it.
Sure.
Because sometimes you can lie. Like, we knew all along that we were going to come back, and we stuck by each other's side. Like, that wasn't the case at the beginning.
It was not.
And usually it's not.
Did you hear PS2?
Oh, I heard PS2. He was not. He said he lost hope.
Yeah, I don't have the audio here with me.
He was real. He said, hey, to be honest with you, I lost hope.
Yep.
And that's something that
Unreal.
happens when you're losing. Like, you're down big in a game. You're going into the fourth quarter. This is where I was saying offensively and defensively, when you separate them, the defense starts to get angry at the offense. Maybe the offense gets mad at the defense, and you kind of have to separate. When it's like, come on, guys, we have to stay together. It's
Right.
hard to do that when things are not going right for you on offense and defense at times.
Well, I know you guys have heard this stat today, or maybe some of you haven't, but it's just so incredible. I have to repeat what's already been said here throughout the day on The Fan. NFL teams had won 1,602 consecutive games when leading by 18 points in the final 6 minutes of a game. It should be like impossible. That should be an impossibility to come back and win that game. And the Broncos did exactly that. Their 33 fourth quarter points were the most points in the fourth quarter by any team that had been shut out in the first 3 quarters in NFL history. So basically think about it as the greatest single game turnaround in the history of pro football.